Welcome back. Today we're going to be cracking on with the electrics, basically the engine harness. I'm not looking forward to it. So to occupy my mind, to start with, I'm going to do the oil lines instead. Why not, eh? So let's get cracking.
Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
So what I've been doing is basically we've run the new oil lines. The ones that were on it weren't right, so we're not using them. So these two here go to the footer housing where the water would have been, because we're not water cooling or oil cooling it now. So we're going to make a backing plate and all that gibberish soon. And then I ran the feed from the turbo down. I'm missing the adapter bolt. That one there, you can just about see it. I'm missing that one. I think the kit only come with one, so I'm going to order another one of them. The kit is actually for a Skyline, so I'm actually quite impressed that everything lines up. I am now going to make the return line, so it goes from the bottom of the turbo down to the sump, but I'm also going to integrate it in to the footer housing like it was originally. Originally it's like a big sort of banjo sort of bolt clip thing, I don't know, on a piece of stainless steel tube. Well, I've got a TIG welder at the minute, so what we're going to do is just going to, in a way, we're going to weld the stainless steel fixings to this pipe, and then basically we're going to screw into that pipe so we can actually have it feed into the sump as well and from the turbo. So let's get cracking. So then, what you've seen we've been doing is basically we're going to cut this pipe down here, this one here, and we're actually going to weld the other sort of bung things on to it. I've got a TIG welder, so we're going to TIG them on. I'm going to practice first because this pipe's pretty thin, so I'm going to turn the power way down. And then we're also going to modify the water pipe, this one down here, that I modified last week. We're going to re-modify it again, but we're just going to cut it, put a new piece of tubing, and then bolt that to it. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to make our own banjo bolt until I can actually order one that fits. I've got a bolt that it'll bolt into as well, so basically we'll weld the bolt on, drill a hole, and then basically that bolt through with a hole in the middle, make our own banjo bolt. I've got one here, this one here, that come with the turbo. Sadly, everything is fine thread for some mad demonic reason. So we're going to change it all to, well, we're going to change that one to coarse thread. So we'll have mainly thin pipe, and then one of their water lines will be an actual thicker pipe. I'm not too sure if I'm going to put it to the front or the rear yet. So let's get cracking.
He's just been doing his own thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, fucking God knows.
So, I don't know if the camera actually caught it because Vicky went off. But basically I've welded, no, what the hell? Oh, they're right. So basically TIG welded these fixings on the end. They're not the most prettiest thing, but you won't actually see them. So basically I've TIG welded them on, and now we can actually screw the flexible pipes to them. So this one is for the bottom of the turbo, and the one on the table is actually for the sump. So I wasn't actually going to put a return and flow in, but I've actually got a return line, I've got my flow in, so we are all good. So, and whilst I've been doing that, my brother-in-law has been making the top mount box for all the gauges. We were going to mount them on the side, but we've actually come to the conclusion that it'll look better if we mount it up on sort of the roof. We're going to bend this piece now. We're trying to figure out how to bend this because we've got to bring it over. And once we've bent it, I'm going to see if my brother-in-law is going to tack it all up. So because this is just a standard box. There'll be a hole here somewhere, but no need to do it yet. And then he's going to make the front plate and drill some holes, and we'll get cracking. So then, that's all I'm doing for today. So this is all the oil and water feeds to the turbo now. So we've got a water off, I think it's the flow from the water pump, which goes to the right side, one to the return, which goes to the opposite side. This top one is oil feed. This is the one I need the extra adapter for, and the oil return actually goes in to a T-piece, so it actually connects to the original hole and to the sump after we modified the pipe. So what I need is an angle and one of the little adapters, which I shall order. So this is the oil and water system for the turbo set up now. I'm quite happy with that. Everything seems to fit quite nicely. The one just underneath this one goes to a 90 there, so I just need another 90 and we'll be sound. So we're going to jump over, we're going to give Tyler a hand now. He's just making the finishing touches to the panel that's going on the inside. We're mating the gauges to the roof, so let's go and give him a hand.
Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
So then, after repeatedly grabbing something hot, a few times this has happened today, Tyler's centred sort of console bit is looking nice and shaped. It needs a bit of shaping because obviously as we've been banging it, it's moved and twisted. So we're going to tidy it up. We're not going to show you the finished thing yet, not until it's actually in the car basically. It does look really good. It still needs a bit of fettling, and there's a couple of little gaps that just need banging and twisting out. But nothing we can't manage. Super happy with what we've done today. All the water and oil is done. I've ordered the little bits I need to, which is basically an angle and the adapter thing. So that's all done. Super happy with them. It looks a bit of a mess, but once we tidy it up and put things in the right place, it'll look quite tidy. There's obviously still an exhaust to go down there and everything else, but I'm super happy with what we've done. I know I didn't get to the wiring before anyone says. I wasn't putting it off. I promise. Maybe a little bit. So, hit the like button, drop a comment, feel free to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.